I'm back with a very original, never been done before book haul. It's going to be split into 3 parts. It was my birthday recently. I say recently, it was 2 months ago. It's taken me this long. That's not the point. We're here now. So I'm going to go through all the books that I got for my birthday. I also got Waterstones vouchers, so I'm going to go out to Waterstones now and do some book shopping, which feels like a present in itself. The other set is books that I bought myself, because it's always important to treat yourself. So let's go through all the books that I got. I've read some of these already. I've actually been very good with reading books that I've got this year. Up until all these books, I've read every single book that I've bought this year. So that's another reason why it was important to treat myself. I haven't read all the books I got for Christmas last year, but we're working on that. So I'll go through So I got 3 non-fiction books. I've been very into reading medical memoirs. Mainly I've been getting them through Libby, like this one, This Is Going to Hurt by Adam Kay. I read this through the library. I absolutely loved it. I gave it 5 stars. I think it's so funny, and it's the stuff that people don't really talk about when you get into medicine. Things get really gross. Like, I've never worked in inpatient care. I've always done outpatient care, and even then the stuff that I see would make most people throw up. So this is a very famous one. This is Adam Kay, who used to be a doctor, and this one he sort of goes through his medical career and basically tells stories of the stuff that he's seen during his time as a doctor. At the end he does stop being a doctor, and he's now, I think, just a comedian and a writer because of what he saw when he was in the medical field. Like, a book has never made me laugh out loud like this has, so I'm glad to have this. I'm going to read this again. It's so good. So then I also got Undoctored by the same author, Adam Kay. This is his other book. I've also read 'Twas the Night Shift Before Christmas. That again I read on Libby, but it's a shorter one. This is his other main medical novel. I think he's now writing fiction, which I might check out at some point. So this one, I think this one is more about his journey leaving the medical field, alternating between hospital admissions and personal ones. This book looks back at Adam Kay's extraordinary medical education and the scars he has been left with. So it's less about the gory inpatient stuff, more just transitioning and maybe the reasons why he left, I don't know. And then the last non-fiction I got is The 7 Ages of Death by Dr. Richard Shepherd. I read this book by him, Unnatural Causes, and I really like the way that he described what he does. He's a forensic pathologist, so basically he does all the post-mortems. I just thought that the way he talks about people, especially after death, was really, like, he talks about it with such love and care. Like, I've read some medical memoirs where you can tell that the doctor is so self-important and thinks that they're God because they're a doctor, when that's not the reason why you should get into medicine. So yeah, although he's so knowledgeable and knows so much, he doesn't come across very self-righteous. Like, you can tell he's not doing this to boost his own ego. I don't know what difference this one is going to be, but I just saw that he had another book and I wanted to read it. I think I'm going to do the hardbacks because they're heavy. I could start a pile, but I don't know where. That works very well. Ooh, then I got this Kingdom. I can't say Kingdom. This Kingdom Will Not Kill Me by Ilona Andrews. I think it's high fantasy, or is it romantasy? So this one is kind of giving me like video game vibes. The main character gets transported to this fantasy world that she's read about in books. So she uses her knowledge of this world to be able to survive it. And she finds out that she actually can't be killed in this world either. And she decides to help people in this world rather than trying to find her way home because she's falling in love with the characters. I haven't started this one yet, but I've heard really good things about it. I'm not sure if this is romantasy or not. Like, there's no mention. There's mention of attentions of dueling princes, dukes and villains, but I don't think the romance is going to be the main focus. I hope not, anyway. Next is a book that I've actually already read, and that is The Girl with a Thousand Faces by Sonia Dean. She was the one who wrote The Book Eaters, which I haven't read. This one is based in World War II era, so it follows a girl who gets washed up in Kowloon. I don't actually know how to pronounce that. I've never heard it said out loud, but I pronounce it Kowloon in my head. The Kowloon walled city in Hong Kong, which is that really densely populated area. And she can talk to ghosts, so she starts making a living through talking to ghosts. However, there is someone that is murdering people, so she gets tasked with figuring out who is doing the murdering. It takes off way more after that. That's what you get in the blurb, and that's how it starts out, but then it develops into something almost completely different because there's a story about a girl going to live on an island, and you just start finding out her name's Mercy, Mercy's backstory and like her life before washing up in Kowloon. I can't remember what I gave this. I think I gave it 4 stars. I think it was really well written. It's not like my perfect story, but I think it was really well done and had beautiful themes of family, and it got quite dark quite quickly. So Hannah Kaner put part underworld crime investigation, part love letter to Kowloon, part heartbreak and myth, which sums it up perfectly. Yes, so the last hardback that I got is The Midnight Train by Matt Haig. I love Matt Haig's books. I haven't read The Life Impossible yet. I have it. I haven't read it yet. Story of my life, I know. But this is sort of the follow-on from The Midnight Library. I keep slouching. Should I just bring this? Yeah, to accommodate my shrimp back. Okay, this is the follow-on to The Midnight Library, but set on a train, if it wasn't obvious. I've started reading it, I've only got that quite through, but the chapters are really short. They're like 1 to 2 pages long. I just need to sit down and read it. And this one is following Wilbur, who dies, and then basically the train is just like a flashback of his life. So he gets on the train and he stops at pivotal moments of his life. I think in Midnight Library she goes back and lives different versions of her life, which could have been, whereas this he's just visiting different points and able to move on to the afterlife. Very good. My other favourite book by him is The Humans. That one was the first one I read. Loved that one. Okay, now on to the paperbacks. I've got The Broken Country. I say I started to read this literally like 2 chapters in. I probably restart it. I don't know much about this one. My mum read it and gave it to me. This is her copy. The sun's just come out. It's actually gloomy today. It's crazy. I think we had rain last night. Tangent. I heard rustling and I got scared. I thought someone was trying to break in. I got up. Turns out it was the rain. Just shows how long we haven't had rain. Where I live, it's been months, so I've forgotten what rain is like. I think it's like a murder mystery. Beth was 17 when she first met Gabriel, then he left and Frank was I can't speak. Then he left and it was Frank who picked up the pieces, but when Gabriel comes back years later, their connection is instant. Blah blah blah. As Beth looks at the man she loves on trial for murder, she can't help thinking they were right. I started reading it and it feels like Beth is on Gabriel's side. If we have to sympathise with Gabriel when he's committed murder. But me and my mum have very similar tastes. If she loves a book, I tend to love it. And she said the chapters were very short, which we both love. So the next one is The Bone Orchard by Sarah. It looks like a self-published book, but it says it's an American edition. I've had this on my list for absolutely ages. So I think this is about like women tending to a bone orchard, and then one of them gets summoned by the emperor while he's dying to choose which one of his sons will inherit the empire when he dies, because one of his sons is the one who's killing him. I assume like a slow death, which is why he's dying. And as she figures out who it is, she gets freed from having to tend the bone orchard. It says it's a dark gothic whodunit, which is very similar to my next book, A Drop of Corruption by Robert Jackson Bennett. This is the epitome of murder mystery fantasy. I read the first one. The first one's The Tainted Cup. I think I have it here. So this is the first one. The second one, I got the American editions because these covers are way better in my opinion. So I've got the second book. The third book has just come out, A Trail of Blood, but I haven't been able to find the American edition yet, so I can't buy it. But so this follows Anna and Din, basically like Sherlock and Watson, sorting out murders in this fantasy world, but it's not too like heavy fantasy. The main thing is that there are Leviathan. Are they called Leviathan? They might be called Leviathan. I'm not sure, but they all live in the sea. And then the poor people live right next to this wall, next to the sea, and then the rich people live further inland. That's probably about the extent. I mean, there's a few magical things here and there, but it's not like a heavy fantasy. Loved their friendship, Anna and Din. Anna is so clever. She's the one who actually solves the mystery. Din just goes out and helps her. First one was so well done, so I really need to pick up this one. And then another sequel I got is The Vow of Thieves by Mary E. Pearson. I've had the first one for ages, but I just wanted to pick up the second one so that I could just read the duology. I had a look at my first one. So the first one I got was a US edition. I assume when I got it, it wasn't like published here yet. So this is the sequel to Dance of Thieves. Unfortunately, this is the UK edition. So that does mean that they are different sizes, which is a bit of a bummer, but this one's lovely and floppy and then this one's just not. At least I can read the duology all in one go now. No idea what this is about. I've just had the first one for ages and wanted the second one. And then the last books I got for my birthday, I got a set of books, and that is the Jade City trilogy, or is it the Greenbone Saga by Bundley. So these are the new covers. So here's Jade City, Jade War, and Jade Legacy, and then the edges you can see the bottoms kind of and the tops line up in like a circle, which is quite cool. I've read the first book before, but I've never owned the second and third, so I think I'm just going to do a big binge reading of this series as well. I just know it's one of those series that I just need to read all in one go, otherwise I'll never pick up the sequels. I'm just so bad for sequels, honestly. So those are the books that I got as presents. Now for the books that I bought for myself. So I got The Red Winter by Cameron Sullivan. Again, I don't know too much about this, I just heard good things, and that was enough for me. A devastating love story, a bewitching twist on history, a blood-drenched hunt for purpose, power and redemption. So I think it's like historical fantasy and like a big war. I really don't know too much, I just know it's high fantasy and everyone's had really good things to say about it. So many of these, the paperback is coming out in like a year's time and I just didn't want to wait. I caved with the hardbacks. And another American edition that I got is The Tapestry of Fate by Shannon Chakraborty. Recently read this in another video. Again, the American editions are so much better than the UK covers. This is the UK covers. I mean, they're pretty, this is just superior. So this is the first one, and I made sure I got the same edition so that they would match on the edges. Yeah, love this one even more than the first one. I spoke about it recently, but it follows Amina Al-Sarafi as she goes on adventures with her crew, travelling the Indian Ocean in about 1800s, and in this one she has to find an object which is a spindle that can weave the tapestry of fate. Her and her crew get shipwrecked on this island and are unable to leave. The queen of the island is basically trapping them there and they have to find a way off. Loved it. And then the last book that I got from the last book that I got for myself is Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil by V.E. Schwab. I saw this in Tesco and it was £6, so I couldn't really say no, could I? I wasn't actually planning on picking this up because I haven't heard great things about it. A lot of people say this isn't their favourite V.E. Schwab. This is also historical fantasy. What is up with historical fantasy nowadays? It's really blowing off. So this follows 3 women, one in Spain in 1532, London in 1827, and Boston in 2019. Defying time and all the odds, these women's fates become tangled like roots. This is a story about life, how it ends, and how it starts again. And we'll leave it at that. Okay, so I'm off to Waterstones to spend my money. I'll see you when we get back. Wasn't as successful as I wanted it to be. I had 2 gift cards, £50 each. I only spent 1. Who am I? Mainly it's because I couldn't find the books that I wanted. But maybe I'll keep the other £50 because loads of new books are coming out in September that I want, so maybe I'll just save it for those. So yeah, so I got 3. We'll go through these. So the first one is We Burn So Bright by TJ Klune. Basically bought every TJ Klune apart from like his Wolf series. I've got all of his books now. So yeah, this is the only one I'm missing. I still need to catch up on a few. This is his newest one. It's only a novella, but everyone says they've cried while reading this one, and I tend to cry at TJ Klune books, so I won't be surprised if I do as well. I might do a catching up on TJ Klune books because there's 2 others that I haven't read yet. Hello, son. Just wanted to keep up to date with him. And this one's a bit left field. For context, I said I read The Girl with a Thousand Faces, and there was lots of talks about how Japan treated China during World War II. I know roughly kind of what happened with Korea and Japan, with comfort women, with how Korean language was banned, everyone had to speak in Japanese and take Japanese names, but I don't really know too much about China's history. To be honest, basically know nothing about China history. Obviously, we only really learned about European history during World War II, but Japan did a lot during World War II, so I kind of want to read up about it. So I did a bit of Googling, and one of the books that was recommended was The Rape of Nanking by Iris Chang. This is apparently a major event during World War II. I hadn't heard of it before. In December 1937, the Japanese army swept into the ancient city of Nanking. Within weeks, more than 300,000 Chinese civilians and soldiers were systematically raped, tortured and murdered. The death toll exceeding that of the atomic blast of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Like, why have I never heard of this? Why was I never taught this, you know? Literally, it says the forgotten Holocaust of World War II. So, quite a dark topic, but I feel like it's still important to read up about. And lastly, I got the second death of Locke. This is one that I waited until the paperback was out. I usually am pretty good with waiting for paperbacks, but sometimes I just don't want to wait 18 months, you know? This one I did. This is a romantasy. I think that's why I was happy to wait, but I've also heard really, really good things about it, so that's why I bit the bullet. This is about Gray Flynn, who has dedicated her life to her mage, Kia. Gray would do anything for Kia, be anything for him, if he would only ask. For Gray is no ordinary magical well, and if she dies, all magic dies with her. So we'll see how, oh my god, the sun! Makes my eyes pop though. So we'll see how romance heavy this one is, but I haven't heard the romantasy people talk about this too much. So I feel like that's a good sign for me. If they're not raving about it, then it might be just enough romance for me to stand. So that is the last one. I mean, I've read 3 already, and I've started a 4th, so I think that means I can buy more. That's my book haul. Thank you very much for watching. See you later.
Hello, kitty baby. Hello, my kitty baby. Oh, you're precious. Precious kitty baby.